Last week I shared with you that I had the biggest gig in Tel Aviv for the first time, and the policeman came backstage and said, "Oh, I want your ID." And I didn't have the ID, and he said, "So you cannot sing, you cannot continue your show." So I said to him, "Don't you have a heart? This is my first big show in the UK, and I'm just about to sing something called Anashim Yafim." It's just such a, I'll read it to you after. It's called Nice People. It's songs about nice people. So can't you be just a bit kind and wait until I finish the show and then do whatever you need? But what I didn't tell you, why the policeman was coming in a show behind the scene to spoil my gig and ask for my ID. So listen to this. A few months before, I sold a car that my ex-husband bought to me, sold it to a lady. She and her family, her brother and her, had a car park in Israel where you clap the wheels. This is a car park that the police is bringing the cars. So, okay, a week after that I sold her the car, and I bought a new car, and I had it already. She called me and said, "I understood there was an accident in the car." I said to her, "Listen, my ex-husband bought it to me. They took it for a test. I don't know anything about it. Your brothers test the car, and I cannot help you." And I told her, "Call my ex-husband. I cannot help you." So then she wanted to revenge me. And all Tel Aviv was full of posters, which I will post, I couldn't find it today, but poster of this gig. And she has very good connection with the police people, because police clap the car, bring it to the car park of her brothers. So, but what happened? What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong that police is coming and ask to take me out of the stage? So, that was the first time that I sold a car. Let's admit it, when you sell a car, when you exchange documents, you get a bit of excited because you don't want to do mistakes. That was the first time I do it. I'm a lady, two guys. So, I made a mistake. On my ID was a missing number. And that's why the police found a way and came to my gig and spoiled me. But I think it was the best PR. You know, we pay a lot of money for PR. What could be better? Eurovision was announced that I'm going to be the finalist. Plus, police want to arrest me in the middle of the gig. Best PR. So, that's what happened. But I didn't know about it straight away. What happened, the next morning, every radio station, journalist and TV station wanted to interview me, because I was going to be in the Eurovision. I was ex-wife of the multimillionaire. But I refused. I refused to go on TV. I refused to be interviewed on a radio. Think about it. Look what I do. Streaming, releasing, all because you want to go to the TV, you want to go to the radio, you pay money. I had everyone wants me, and I didn't want to do it. Looking back, I know why. My inside wanted always to give something more than blonde and sexy look. that desire was always there, although in the appearance, and you saw the photos today, we'll speak about the Eurovision in a minute, I always wanted to give a little bit more. There was a momentum that I was waiting to miss opportunity. So what I'm teaching people since then, and even my late husband used to teach footballers and people because of this experience, always be ready, because life can change in a minute, for good and for bad. So I didn't use this opportunity. On that time, the few days after the Eurovision announcement, managers wanted to sign me, but there were two people in the crowd, one from America and one Israeli, friends and friend of my acting teacher, Ruti, and they wanted to invest in me. They saw, wow, we want to take her to America and make her a star. Isn't it amazing? That's all what happened from that gig. Because actually all what happened with the police, it just made me, woo, I was like on fire after. So they wanted to sign me. We started to talk seriously, and then we needed to do a contract, talk about the plans. So the plans were to take me to America for 10 years contract. And what can I say to you? I started to get a cold feet. Although that's what I wanted. I wanted to be, who doesn't want to be a star in America? I got cold feet. Bob, that he's American, was a neighbor of Quincy Jones. Quincy Jones, all Michael Jackson albums are made by him, all the toppest people, one of the best few producers in the world. And he was his neighbor, and that's what they wanted to take me there. But they told me to sit straight, they wanted me to fix the teeth, and wanted me to be what you would expect from American star. But I didn't like it. I'm natural. Of course, sitting straight is important, nice teeth are very important, but, you know, my soul, I'm a free spirit, always been. In the meantime, there was a very famous manager in Israel, Chaim Slutsky. He used to bring Michael Jackson, Leonard Cohen, all the biggest shows he used to bring. And then he started to deal with television. So he was chasing me. And one day, that I was almost signing the contract with the Americans. They even gave me some money as advance. I'd done something that I knew that would change my life forever. It was 6 o'clock in the evening. I had the contract that was almost signed, although I was not sure, almost signed. I called this Israeli manager and I said, can I give you to see my contract so you can show it to a lawyer? So what did I do? I gave to someone that wanted to sign me a contract of other people, but there was all the shops were closed. But I wanted to do it. So I found a fax machine open and I said, oh, can you just do a copy for me? And they did a copy. I brought him the contract. I knew I've done a life-changing thing. I just knew it. Okay. So I said goodbye to the Americans, and here I have this big manager. I always wanted the manager. But he's a very busy person. So what happens next? I became the manager doing everything. I knew I have a budget. And I had to make choices. Choices are what made us. I had to choose the manager, I had to choose the producer, I had to choose the choreographer, I had to choose the makeup artist, I had to choose the hairdresser. All that you have to choose. And that's what will make it to be good or not good. So with the manager, we made the decision. I think I shared with you that was some Israeli, for the Israeli people, you know Micha Shitrit, very, very famous singer-songwriter, best lyricist, that was helping me artistically, but we fall in love. But I always credit him that I can write good lyric only because he was my teacher, so thank you, Micha, if you ever see it. So he's not a producer. We needed someone to sit on the computer. It's called programmer. Producer is someone that sees the big picture. Programmer is someone that puts it all together. But one thing I didn't say to you, the version of like Brigitte, Kmo Brigitte, that was chosen by the Eurovision was something I did at home with 4-track. 4-track is a little machine that has 4 tracks. So I had already then the seeds of producing, but also knowing what I want. And it was minimalistic. I'm going to play you the song. It's just 2 chords, the most simple, lovely song. But Guy, which is also my friend on Facebook, I didn't tag him, wanted to make it big. You know, it's Eurovision, you have to do it big. And he did an amazing job. So here I am in a studio for the first time, big studio, session musicians, the best Israeli players coming, all good. The manager came once to say hello, but that's it. And then came the first big problem. We came to record my song, my vocal. We had the playback, wow. But the vocal always is what runs the show. So I record, and I love it. And what does he do? He deletes the first take. And at that time, it was tape. So it wasn't like computer, when you delete something, you can you can restore it. It was not the case. He didn't know what I know now. All the vocals that you hear me, everything that I sing on the radio too, on all the radios, I record it at home. And you know what? I do 3 takes, sometimes 4, 5, and that's it. That's what I do. I go to expensive studio, spending money and then throwing it, and I'm not the only one that know it. The co-producer that worked with me always said, Tali, your vocal is much better. So I didn't know it then. So what happened? One vocal, kaput, 40 takes. He asked me for 40 takes to do. And I sing it, and I sing it, and I get bored, and I get tense, and it's become a disaster. And then Micha, the artistic manager and the lover, come to rescue the situation. He's so good. You need to know how to speak with a singer, and especially someone like me, whoever worked with me, know that I'm not the easiest one. 3 takes, we had the vocal. Good, we have the vocal. But then we need to mix it, which was another day. And of course I wanted Micha to be there. I wanted the manager, but they were not there. All night I was awake. We had a deadline from the radio. And then Micha came at 4 o'clock in the morning while we finished the mixing. And I was not very polite. I actually swear. I'm not going to quote my swear, but it was the strongest explosion. I was so upset that he didn't come to the mix because that song went to the radio. So I swear, and c'est fini. So our relationship finished. So here I am before my big step, Eurovision, and not having someone that I really trusted to be by my side. Okay, so that happened. I just had to decide who is the choreographer. Moti Rai, if he's watching me, but he's not watching yet. Moti is a friend from childhood that used to hold my bags when I was a big model, and he moved to Tel Aviv and became one of the most famous. Now he's the most famous. He just does the biggest events, Miss Beauty, everything, fashion show. And I'm his friend. And he see me in the hairdresser and said, Tali, give me a call. Give me a call. I'll do for you the choreography. But I had fear. I just didn't feel comfortable. So my acting teacher, that was my friend, I had the honor that she was willing to help me, to give me her time, to do exactly what I want. And I was inspired by Gilda, Rita Hayworth's the goddess, and the movie Gilda. So I'll post later the dancing. So it was like, yeah. So here we are. We have almost everything. And the dress. The dress. I need to have an amazing dress. So I couldn't find anything. So I decided to make it. Same like with the Royal Albert Hall. I found this beautiful material of Christian Dior and made it like, wow, very revealing. I was wearing today, especially for the occasion, more revealing than always, but I said, right, but that was much more revealing and open. Oh, I just cannot believe that I was wearing it. That was a dress for Grammy nominated, and when I came actually to the Eurovision, people say, wow, that's Hollywood. It was a Hollywood. Not necessarily good for the judges. The religious people, not the best thing. So we had this dress, the hair, I was going to the same hairdresser that I always go. She made my hair beautiful. The makeup artist, I've decided, let's take the same makeup artist that made my wedding, which was stunning. But she's a makeup artist of Photograph magazine. There is a different lighting for makeup and for television, which I didn't know. So she was on board and everyone is there. Day before there was a rehearsal and I went there, I made my hair and I was with just a little bit of makeup like now, and there were photographers, and the song is a very wowy song, but the words, I'll talk about it in a second. Yes, so I was on the front back of the most important newspaper in Israel, which you saw today, the photograph saying before. The after, we are talking about the day. By the way, the manager came to the rehearsal, thank you, and said to me, Tali, F-U-C-K the camera, F-U-C-K. Now I understand because, you know, when I do video, I know how to be very sensual. But, you know, this song, which is more a parody about the celebrities or women that want to be like Brigitte Bardot Monroe. So it's more a parody. So I was like almost cynical in my words, but it was not the interpretation. Okay, the day has arrived. We had a sound check in the morning. We've been there for hours. It was quite tiring. And then we had few hours to go and rest at home. So I went to rest. And what did I do? I took salt of the Dead Sea, a whole packet, to the bathroom. Why? I wanted to relax. But on the instruction it's saying, you know, that you do that before you're going to sleep, not before you're going to perform on TV. So I enjoyed my bath and I was relaxing because I was knackered and I was tense. But then I felt zombie. And that's it. And I arrived. I arrived to the scene. My energy was tense. The fear was there, controlling me. And what happened is, if you're the center of everything, you make everyone nervous. So the makeup artist did a lovely job, but then suddenly someone really famous that was dealing with other artists and really liked me said, you need a little bit more in your nose, you need a little bit more in your cheeks. So every time I go to the makeup artist, say, more, more, more. Ooh. So suddenly I became not so much as I was before. Okay. What I did even more than that, I went to the camera people. When have you heard about a singer going to a camera people of the television? My life depends on you, I said to them. My life depends on you. You must put me a lot of lighting. You can see even here, I'm doing to you, I have a lot of lighting. Last week I was like a ghost, but let me tell you something. I've learned, I believe you heard about Claudia Schiffer, one of the top models and the most pretty, but when she does photo shoot, people pay her hundreds of thousands. The request is to have a certain lighting. So there are many famous people in the world that know exactly the recipe of the lighting that suits their face. And I didn't know it. I cannot tell you that I know it so far now, but I do know, and I have lighting and I get on. But I went to the camera people and said, my life, it depends on you. Yes. But then came the disaster. My lovely hairdresser that was tense because I was tense, and they chosen me to be the second one, put me roles. Right? L'Oreal girl. When you see a commercial on TV of L'Oreal girl, they put the rolls, take them out, and then you walk, and then the hair bounces with you, and that is how you create it. You just take the roll straight away, shoot it, and then it looks fantastic. So we thought to do it as well. So we put the rolls, but instead of doing it near a mirror that I will see how I look, the rolls were on me. We were standing just near going to the television, no mirror. Finish the mirror. So I count on her, but who would have even thought that she would make such a mistake? She took the rolls, told me to take the hair down. Choop, 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 choop. Ah, wait a minute. Choop, 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 choop. Put the spray here. So think about it. Suddenly you have spray and your hair become all kind like this. And I think you saw it in the photograph. But these things sometimes happen to weddings. Sometimes men see the woman, his loved one, on the aisle. She comes and he doesn't recognize her because it's too much makeup and the wrong hairstyle, overdoing, doesn't look very good. So if you're getting married, make sure that you are just making yourself with makeup but beautiful. So that's it. I'm going on the stage with my hair. Right. My performance was 7. I would give myself. So there were a few out of tune. I had the confidence. Not too bad, but definitely, yeah, I think the fear was there, but it's the makeup. you know, when someone looks good and feel relaxed, and if lighting is good, you look good. So you could see it even today, the before and the after. My teeth were black. So the lighting, instead of being good, was the worst, because I saw other singers and they had a good light, but I did it to myself. I went there and frightened them. They didn't know what to do. They did the wrong lighting. The rest is history. I'm sitting there in the, after the Eurovision, you know, when you do the counting, 10 points, and all that stuff. So I got Sept, 7 points. Very interesting. To the one that saw episode 1, it was 7 points as well. So guess what? All this happens. I'm there. And my inner dialogue at the time, I lost, you know. It was embarrassing. And everyone has expectation. But my inner dialogue turned it immediately and said, that will be the key for my life. Because number 7, it's a 7, we have 7 notes, we have 7 days, rainbows, 7 colors, so 7 is a very significant color, number. And I just said, that will be the key for my life. So even then, I knew how to turn negative situation into positive. On the night, I didn't want to see the results. The next day, I went to routine my acting teacher, and I saw it, and I said, oh my God, absolutely disaster. Disaster. Okay, so the next few days, I just walked and said to myself, right, Tali, the worst thing that ever happened to you just happened to you. You looked on national television and you look crap. There is a vanity side to me because I was a model. Look is my profession, so sorry to say, there is a vanity, and I'm always honest about it and laughing about it. But the fact that it's happened, and I just said, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. I was talking so much and I didn't play to you one song, so I just want to play you, just to count down, I just want to play you the song called Anashim Yefim, Nice People. This song, my mother brought me the lyric. No one knows who wrote the lyric, but the word, the chorus is saying, there are people nice inside. There are people that are nice inside. And the verse, I will only sing one verse and chorus. The verse is saying, it's not so a big deal to smile when you have friends surrounding you and everything is good in your life. It's important to know how to smile when it's dark, when it's wet, and it's very sad in the heart. It's not always right just to follow the people that follows you. You need to know how to accept the people that are outside, that they're different, that they're weird. So I composed that song at the time and was singing it in places. And it's amazing that all those things, all the values that I developed in the last few years were there. And I will sing it. I have beautiful production for my Hebrew album. I'll sing it on Sunday. So I'll just sing to you. זה לא חוכמה לצחוק ששמש ואוויר והרבה חברים סביב סביב צריך לצד לחייך גם שהעננים יעשו שקר ולבד ועצוב חוכמה לאהוב את אלו שהולכים הישר שחושבים ואומרים שעושים מתוך תמיד את אותו הדבר, אותו הדבר. כי יש אנשים שהם מקיפים עמוק עמוק בפנים, כי יש אנשים שהם רק יפים עמוק בפנים, כי יש אנשים שהם רק יפים עמוק עמוק בפנים, כי יש אנשים שהם רק יפים עמוק בפנים. I'm singing it to you, all my friends and supporters. This chorus saying that there are people that are just beautiful inside, and you are the beautiful people that I'm so glad to have you in my life. And just one more chorus. כי יש אנשים שהם רק יפים עמוק עמוק בפנים, כי יש אנשים שהם רק יפים עמוק בפנים. Voila! So here we are. So this is now, I am after the Eurovision and life. What do I do now? I should have released a song on the radio and make a big noise, but I haven't done it. I was worried. But there was one very important thing that I like to share with you before the next little story, and what brought me, of course, to London. On that one time that I was on TV, I gained audience, all the gay audience just loved the glamorous, the words which was explicit with exclamation mark. I even cannot believe that I wrote. I'll try to translate, but so the gay people really liked me, and I believe it saved my life, because I had a big event, big gig for in a gay club, and I went to buy a top, and the guy said to me, "Oh, are you Koren from the Eurovision?" I said, "Oh, yes. I didn't realize that people, I thought it was like a complete disaster and didn't really succeed to anyone." And he said, "Yeah, I really love it." He was gay, and I told him that I have a gig. So I stayed with him, let's say 4 minutes more than the time that I would spend if I would just buy it. So I walked to a shopping center in Dizengoff, it's a very famous place in Tel Aviv. Walking, and then there was a big bomb. That was the famous number 5 bus that was exploding. I was just near that explosion, just a few minutes. So then I walked, there was everything around me. Glass, blood, trauma. Absolutely trauma. So just think, if I didn't have that 4 or 5 minutes, I'm not saying I would die, but I would be there, and that would have been even more traumatic. So I'm always saying some angel saved my life. I should actually say that story after, because before that happened, there's something that will lead to my next single. Rabin, the Prime Minister Rabin, there was a big event, just a square, Kikar, Rabin Square. There were like 10,000 people. I went there with my lovely dog because I wanted to see one of the singers, Aviv Geffen, after. So I was under the stairs, Shimon Peres was walking, and I adore him. He's all my inspiration for all the work of peace that I'm doing. So I was like clapping the hand, and then I said, right, I'm moving to the other side of the road, because the 10,000 people after that the event is finished will go there, and my dog, it will be a disaster. So I walked here to the other side, was a boom, boom, boom. So there was like, in very short time, I had like 2 very big things that happened. But what's the relation to the story? The relation is that the next day, all the newspapers in Israel were so lovely. Everyone was talking love, humanity, tolerance. Like it's happened always when there is terror attack. People gather together. People suddenly respect each other. Not like when it's not, and then countries are split, include my own country. People are split, and when they're split politically, it can become disaster. So there was that song, that article by most famous actor at the time. The words were just so beautiful. Let's give love on the road. Let's give love in the queue to the supermarket. Happy children do not kill when they grow. Happy children love. That was so beautiful. And again, Israel, the driving in the roads is terrible. They're not as polite as here, number 1. Number 2, queues and Israeli do not work together. So if you're on an airplane, waiting to go, it's always a mess. So suddenly he wrote that beautiful thing. So immediately I went to the piano and composed that. בוא ניתן אהבה על הכבישים, בוא ניתן בתור למכולת לילדים, נוסיף מילות אהבה למילים, בוא ניתן כי ככה גדלים. So I had all this composition. I said, wow, I must meet this actor. I must turn it to a song. So through connection, I got to know him, and he was exactly in Haifa, which is my town. I live in Tel Aviv, but he was in Haifa. So I said to my parents, please come and pick me from the station with my dog, because I knew I would stay there for a few days. I'm coming to Haifa with the dog and a tape recorder. I am coming. There was no iPhone that you can record songs. So I'm going to a man to his hotel late, because it was after his show in the theater. He wrote with me the most beautiful chorus, which we said, you can live different. Why to die for the sake of living? Which that is such an important thing, We sometimes need a wake-up call. It can be through illness, through an accident, that suddenly we appreciate life, like it's happened to us with the COVID now, that suddenly we appreciate more life. So why to die for the sake of living? There is so much beauty in the world. And that's it. So what happened with that song? I recorded it. I actually produced it for the first time, and I released it, and it was played in the radio. So let me just sing that to you now. בוא ניתן אהבה על הכבישים, בוא ניתן בתור למכולת לילדים, נוסיף מילות אהבה למילים, בוא ניתן כי ככה גדלים, ילדים מאושרים לא עושים מלחמות שהם גדולים, ילדים מאושרים אוהבים, אפשר גם אחרת כך הרבה יופי יש, אנחנו לא רואים, אפשר גם אחרת לומר שלום, ואז נחיה. בוא ניתן אהבה על הכבישים, בואו נעזוב את הפחד, העצב נותן להרגיש כל דבר שזז, שיש לו צבע, להתקרב אליו ממקום אחר. ילדים מושרים לא עושים מלחמות שהם גדולים, ילדים מושרים אוהבים, שגם אחרת לא למות בשביל חיים. כל כך הרבה יופי יש, אנחנו לא רואים, שגם אחרת לומר שלום, ואז נחיה. It's going on and on with solo and part, but that's a song with really nice words in Hebrew. And so I released that single. The next few months after, you can imagine, from such a climax, that was a challenging time because I was not knowing what to do. And but what I did know, that what I was with that Brigitte, with the Eurovision, was not me. And when I met this famous Israeli guy, Moti Raif, he said to me, I would have made you to be like a superstar. All Israel would have talked about you. And probably I didn't want it. I want to be who I am, the singer-songwriter, inspire people, and that's probably was there, and I was in a way determined not to let the other stuff. Okay, so I'm suddenly not knowing what to do, and I have a neighbor that was a quite rational person when he was young, into philosophy, very rational. One day something was loose in his mind. He was in a movie and he started to see things called auras. So he started to see all kinds of things, which was quite weird. But I would go with him. He was my neighbor. He was 60-something years old. I had my Dolly, my dog. We would sit every day in the cafe, chat. He would see people, he could see illness that before the person would know. So he saved a lot of people. And one day I said to him, listen, you're helping everyone, but you're not helping me. I'm your friend. I'm your very close friend. He said, listen, the thin line between imagination and channeling or inspiration is very small. So he didn't want to say to me anything. So I was a bit upset. Then I've done all kind of modeling job, and that job was in a Luna Park that I had to be on a waterfall, and the director didn't know that I have real severe fear of heights. I was insisting and I said, you're only going to shoot me when I'm going out of the water saying, hi. I'm not going on it. Next day, I'm sitting with this friend for a coffee. And he said to me, listen, Tali, shut up now. And he looked at me with quite a weird eyes and said to me, you should not do anything related to adventures. Nothing of heights, nothing of motorcycle. Now, he didn't know. I was the happiest person. I took the hand and said, yes, yes, because all my life I was made a joke of myself. In the Scouts when I was a child, always people need to take me around because I was like terrified of heights. And he gave me the permission. He said to me, don't do it. Then he said to me, go to London, go to London. London will be either good for you or either not good, but you have to go to London. That's what he said. And that is why I've decided to come to London, because I didn't have anything else at the time that I was really into. I was recording an album, never released it, but that was the reason to come to London. So I'm gonna sing to you the song of the Eurovision. Only 2 chords. All the song is 2 chords. As I said to you, the words of the song are starting with me drinking wine and getting too much into a bad mood, because, you know, alcohol can make us high or down. And then look around me at that model that wanna be a star, how she make like Brigitte with the mouth, how she make like Monroe with the eyes, and she would go down, down, down. Didn't say we're down, but the newspaper made after a lot of you know, hot stuff from that. And I say there are things that I created rhymes, so I say something like, you son of culture. I didn't say son of, you know, I said son of culture. Look what she does to you with her breast. So it was like, we know of prime ministers, presidents in America that someone made their trousers to go down. So that was what I was trying to say in the song. Come on, you know, just a little bit sex, you know, just behave. But to her, we all have that moment when we dance in a nightclub or when we that we feel that fantastic. And I was saying she feels like a legend for a minute because the wine is good to her. So it's a song with a lot of moral but explicit. So let's sing it for the first time, how I wrote it. הכל נראה לי סתם, הכסף והמים לא עשה לי טוב היום, היי. כולם נראים צבועים, מה גם הברבורים, הדמעות עשו לי חור במכנסיים. אתה שפוט יא בן חירות, מה עשתה לך עם השדיים? והיא הכל רוצה לקדום, כמו בריז'יט עם השפתיים, כמו מונרו עם העיניים, כמו בריז'יט עם השפתיים, כמו מונרו עם העיניים, ותרד לך כולם נראים קשובים מצד הפיזוזים, הדמעות עשו שחור לי בעיניים. אתה שפוך יא בן חירות, עוד שנייה יפלו לך המכנסיים. והיא הכל רוצה לגדול, תהפך לאגדה לרגע. והיא הכל תתחיל לבכור, היא טוב בקיים טוב אליה. תעשה כמו בריז'יט עם השפתיים, כמו מונרו עם העיניים, כמו בריז'יט עם השפתיים, כמו מונרו עם העיניים, כמו בריז'יט עם השפתיים, ותרד לך היא תרד, היא תרד ממך, היא תרד כי הכל סתם. הכל סתם mean everything is nonsense, or everything is vanity, everything. So I am thrilled to be here with you, to share that is such a big part of my life.